All opinions expressed by Jose and Ben or any of the guests on this show are solely their opinion and their opinion alone. Their opinions do not reflect the opinions of any other sponsors or other parties involved in the recording of this show. Do not treat any opinion expressed by Jose and Ben as a specific endorsement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy. Their expressions of their opinion on this show is purely for informational purposes. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Thriller Bitcoin.
Welcome to Thriller Bitcoin.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking in Bits, where we walk you through Bitcoin bit by bit so we can provide you with the information you need to succeed and persist. Back with episode 38. Got Ben in the house as always.
38, bro. What's happening?
Man, we keep stringing these things together.
Let's get it.
Yeah, it's becoming buttery smooth. The process is becoming buttery smooth. We're going to introduce the listeners to hopefully something new here.
Yeah.
Right? So we briefed about this idea of being able to like share the video clip so that people can have context on the stuff we're talking about. And this is very big because I've actually had a few people reach out to me that listen to the podcast that say, hey, I love you guys, but I don't know about half the stuff that you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a double-edged sword with that. We can't always stick to the basics because we're kind of chugging along and we like talking to each other about the other stuff. We're trying to keep you updated in the industry, in, you know, Bitcoin as a whole. So that comes with a problem, but we can help you by giving you a little bit of a clip and giving you some love.
Some context.
Yeah. So we got a few topics that we're going to throw around here today, and the ones that do have audio in the very beginning, I'm just going to put my mic closer to it. But on the YouTube experience,
should be able to see it.
You should be able to see the context, and it should be fun. So, you know, something that happened, I think like a few hours after we finished last week's episode was Bitcoin Org getting breached.
Yep.
Not surprised, but come on, man.
Yeah, I saw that. I posted it to my group.
That's...
it happens. I mean, and there are a lot of websites that are Bitcoin scams anyways. Like, hey, order these miners on here.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever. Order something. And those are scams. But an official site like that, you would not expect to get hacked.
This is something that I'm going to bring up. And I know people who are listeners or just, oh, man, another thing I got to do.
Yeah.
This is why if you download, you know, I've downloaded wallets like Electrum, Wasabi, and certain things off the internet. This is why PGP signatures are super important. And I can hear people already that I know. Another security, another security thing. But it's not hard once you do it once or twice.
Yeah.
PGP signatures are the way for the original developer of the original code to be able to sign cryptographically, surprise, that this is their code, that they, you know, that this key, you know, correlates with their key. And it's a few commands. I know how to do it on Mac. I don't know how to do it on Windows, but you can just Google it. It's very easy. And just in like a few clicks by comparing the image file and comparing the developer signatures with some coding, you can just get a yay or a nay. And if it's a nay, this stuff can't happen.
Yeah.
Right. So for the context, Bitcoin Org got breached. The website is saying that roughly around $17,000 USD value of Bitcoin was sent to an address that was displaying on the website.
Yep.
So one could, but what about the owners of the website? Well, what happened is somewhere in the middle from the connection to you who clicked this and the original website, somebody was able to get in between and display to you a completely different site that looks exactly the same. That's a problem. It looks identical to you.
Yeah.
I know there's very common things to look out for, like the little lock, the HTTPS protocol stuff, all that. But sometimes you literally just get fooled.
Yeah.
You're into donating. You want to donate to Bitcoin. We all want to donate to Bitcoin.
Even there was the Twitter scam where like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and a lot of people got hacked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's the same thing happening on a Twitter level. So like stuff gets hacked, bro. It is what it is.
I think it's easier with a username handle, but yes, same context. This is a website. So and to contrary my PGP example, I don't know if you can PGP a website.
Yeah.
I guess this was happening on the website. So I don't want to say that. But there is ways to like countermeasure software that you're downloading and making sure that it's from its author or its originator. And this is just rough. I don't know, because Bitcoin Org doesn't really post much either, so I can't really say look out for their posts to say that they're looking for donations.
Yeah.
You would naturally think they want donations because it's an open source by nature thing. So this one's a little tricky. Off the head, I can't really think of a way that people could avoid
that
right there.
I don't think you can stop that in the Bitcoin space or in the internet space. That's just something we deal with as a risk going on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, good intentions are good intentions. Like some people
Yeah.
would say, well, I did it for the right intentions. If I got beat, then I got beat for 20 or whatever my donation was. But that's not the point. The point is that you weren't able to actually contribute.
Yeah.
And, there's still scams that are willing to go as low as,
Is
hey,
that-
we're going to go to Bitcoin.org's main
Mhm.
website and try to hijack that.
Yeah, man.
I know Wasabi's getting popular. I know a lot of these downloadable wallets are getting popular. Check the PGP signature of anything. If you're doing a Raspberry Blitz, the node we talked about, highly recommend doing a PGP on anything that you download from Raspberry or anything. It's really important for wallets specifically. The nightmare situation of you using a wallet that has a backdoor to it, right? That somebody has already built in, that they can see the addresses, that you're really sending to their addresses and not your addresses.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can find out quick. First transaction didn't go through. Sometimes you could use the wallet for months and then find out when you put a big amount in.
Mm.
Be careful. PGP signature up. Yes, it's another security measure you have to take, but that's part of sovereignty. You want to
Mhm.
verify these things. You don't want
Locks
to trust
on
it.
locks on locks, man.
And the really good developers, like head to electrum.org. I could do it right now. Head to electrum.org right now, and you'll see at the top of the screen it letting you know.
Mm.
Check this PGP signature, bro. Like we're providing you with the info you need. Like we're not
Yeah.
even trying to,
Confirm
because
this.
we even understand that our website could be hacked.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just a link.
Even bro, someone had an account with a major exchange, and it had, I think, like phone verification, and like they still got their wallet cleared out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like, give me 2 locks. Give me the SFA, and then give me like a phone call, or flash my screen with something. You know what I'm saying?
it's very
How
hard.
are they doing that?
The only thing I keep thinking about is just multi-sig. Like there needs to be like that too hard
Copies.
yes. Like
Yeah.
that hard signature
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I like
It's
that's
almost
what-
like it mirrors 2 physical keys.
Exactly what it is. And I think that kind of fixes a lot of the complex decision making, especially in business, like
Mm.
partnerships and things like that.
Mhm.
I think that scenario of like, well, you have a key,
Yeah.
I have a key, and now let's round and do. How do we
Yeah.
make this deal happen to where we both are willing to sign our key and not be forced to do so?
Yeah.
I think that's very powerful. This is just thinking off the head. Maybe making it a standard that in order for you to donate, you need to go into like a multi-sig transaction or something where Bitcoin.org has a key, you have
Yep.
a key.
Sign here.
Maybe Lightning figures this out. Maybe that opening of a tab has like that multi-sig verification.
Yeah.
But there needs to be a new standard then
Yo, it's
scan
still,
this barcode.
it's still so early.
Super.
So early.
I'm baffled every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes to the point where like I have to shut my phone off because it's a fire hose.
Mhm.
There's so much new stuff happening.
Yeah.
But something better than just the QR code.
Yeah.
That seems very easy to
Absolutely.
fuck with.
Oh, it's generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very generic.
So $17,000. I see some comments here saying there appears to be DNS hijacked. I don't know the complexities of it. You guys can check it out on Twitter. It's posted VX-underground. Go check them out. I just recently started following them, but I think they report on these things, on these hacks and
Cool.
stuff like that. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that that's happening, but it is happening. And we just have to be careful. Big news slightly after that.
Mhm.
Jack Mallers
Yeah.
launches Strike API as he
Mhm.
promised he would.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on it so far?
We've been talking about this. Just
Yeah.
the idea that like you can contribute to a podcast, a website, a YouTube stream, and someone can click a button and instantly give you money, give you Bitcoin, give you sats, is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're really good at what you do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you learn something that saves you time or whatever, you can immediately contribute to that person, and then if that person does that consistently, that's a whole form of income.
Yeah.
So I think it's incredible. We talked about it before. There was someone who did artwork outside, and he left a QR code. And
Yeah.
he gets sats frequently from his work that he left there. I think that's incredible.
Very powerful.
I shot a video in Worcester for Spider Tag. He created the neon exhibit downtown, right across from City Hall. And
How'd he get paid?
He got paid through the city.
Okay.
But I'm like, if he leaves QR codes, he does this for work. He travels everywhere
Yeah.
and creates those unique pieces.
So the new signature? Like remember how
Yeah,
graffiti artists used to
it
sign?
could be a new signature.
Yeah, he could.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
how
then
do
and then make that make his social pop up too, like his social medias.
Yeah.
Like if you want to scan that and get like a link tree,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, and then lightning button.
Completely
know what I
powerful. As is, and we have a video, so we're gonna
Yeah.
play Jack's original video of him sending through Twitter. Twitter's the first to unlock it.
Yep.
I think I'm excited like you are for
Yeah.
the future potential of what this can do.
Yep.
And what it kind of already is doing for the people that know about it. So I will
Mhm.
not even try to but there's limitations to it. And we're gonna talk about
Facts.
those after we play this video. Let's see if we can get this to play, guys.
And I've got David here at a Starbucks in El Salvador. David has his Strike account linked to his Twitter account, and we're going to make a free, instant cash final remittance payment over Twitter. So I'm going to go search David's Twitter account on my phone. I'm going to find his tips button, and I'm going to send David $10 over Twitter for changing the world. It's going to open my non-custodial Lightning Moon wallet. Anyone in the world can download, and I'm just going to hit send. And boom. We just made an instant free remittance payment from Chicago, Illinois, USA to San Salvador, El Salvador over Twitter. Why would anyone ever use Western Union again? When you take one of the world's largest social internet networks and you combine it with the world's best open monetary network, Twitter accidentally becomes one of the best remitting experiences in the world. This one singular payment standard and this one singular open monetary global monetary network is dematerializing all existing monetary networks. Western Union, pawn to E4, your move.
Yeah, shout out to
Yo.
Jack. That's on Jack's
Yeah.
Twitter. Go check out at Jack Maulers. I'm not gonna hate on this. I
Yeah.
could just play devil's advocate to this situation.
Sure.
But I love this. I think it's extremely powerful for
Yeah.
all the reasons you said, and all the reasons that I love Jack Maulers, but like if you listen to what Adam Curry was saying back in November when he was launching podcast, and him and his partner, I forgot his partner's name, but they launched in Podcast 2.0. They were already saying this. They were already
Yeah.
saying like, yeah, listen, the way you pay people is like penny per penny, set by set. Like this
Yeah.
was already a thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's happening. I can't hate on this. I think at the moment you have to get paid out on strike.
Yep.
I don't like.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I figured, the first iPhone had limitations. The first Samsung phone had
For sure. I
limitations.
felt the same way.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, like, I don't know.
And on the other side, you could use any other wallet though. Mun was his example there.
Yeah.
He said Mun.
He
He
said,
said Mun. I just thought about
Let's
that.
go.
He said
said
Mun.
Mun,
I got listen. People have been telling me it's Moon Wallet. It is. He said Mun. Shout out to
It's
Jack.
Mun.
It's Mun.
Let's get it.
Official.
Yeah.
Super powerful, man.
I'm excited
yeah.
that we're here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're at that point in time where, again, content creators can give the proverbial middle finger to their day jobs
Yeah.
if they can create content.
Yeah.
And like, you can't ban me. Like, even if, whatever, there's a shutdown, I get laid off, or, there's no work or whatever, like,
Yeah.
you can't stop someone from giving value
Fucking
and,
powerful.
and energy, and other humans from being like, yo, I got you
Yeah.
with a touch of my finger, dog, from
I
my
mean-
phone. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's incredible.
What's the like? Since we keep comparing it to the early days of the internet, is this like AOL Instant Messenger?
This is like
This is like that big
nah,
jump.
this is not even Instant Messenger. This is like the first ring in AOL.
What
The
do you
first part, like the first noise you hear, the
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
we're
I
not
know when
even
they're
through the ring.
Bitcoin, but when it comes to like
technology.
that connection, now that Bitcoin and Lightning are able to do that right there, this
Yeah.
is probably like when you were able to jump into like public groups and instant message. It changed from you being on the phone to you being hooked on your computer
Yep.
instantly, and
Yeah.
being and the dangers that came
Yeah.
with that. But
Here's the
excited.
danger I'm concerned about.
What is it?
We talk about it. I don't trust Twitter.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For censorship reasons. And
Yeah.
so my concern is like, it's the same shit that's going on with like GoFundMe, where like
Hit me.
certain political parties would have GoFundMes and they would get muted. Even if it's like, hey, someone got into an accident and we need to, pay for their fund, like recovery funds, like
Yep.
their GoFundMe would like be like, yo, your campaign got shut down.
So you think
know what I mean?
they can do that with?
No, I'm just saying,
okay.
like, I wouldn't want that to happen.
Yeah,
And then, can they block any transactions?
that's
Can Twitter be like, yo,
I don't think so.
if they can mute your timeline, can they mute your Lightning transaction portal from your Twitter page? That's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
guess they
saying?
can. They're gonna say is their app. They could disconnect the feature somehow, some way.
Or just disable your page.
Right. But I think in theory, you can't disconnect API from you getting paid. So I think like in the podcast 2.0 example, your node is the way that's open. That gateway is open.
Yeah.
Twitter can shut down their node, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
in their situation. So yeah, that can happen, which is a problem. But I mean, I guess it's just the ability. I guess it's the consumer friendly way to say, because what I'm worried about is the KYC aspect of it.
That's
Does
it.
Twitter got to report how many donations are going to certain people? Did you
Mhm.
get a 1099 because of the donations that you received?
Mm.
Like, what's happening here? Like, there's a lot of things here that are still left to be unsaid. So, I guess for you and I, it's more like, well, we've been doing this for a little while now. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, like, cool.
What are
But-
the logistics?
but yeah, I think this is just a way to like new people get hooked,
Yeah.
like bring the new wave in, like.
Yeah.
So I do think it's impressive. I think
sir.
he reached out to Facebook. I can see many different companies benefiting from the Strike API.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the front end of it, which is you can use any Lightning wallet. I don't like the back end of it. I don't like that you need a Strike account in order to get paid out. That can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And let's
I
not be
agree.
selfish here. Jack and team put so much money into that, money, resources, energy
Yeah.
into that API. Why would they not be plugged in somehow, some way? Like,
Mhm.
sure, fair enough. But we love open source code. It would be nice if that back end was also like any wallet I
Open.
want.
Yeah, open.
Yeah, and then I just ride the Strike API rails, like he likes to say.
Yeah.
More to come on that.
Yeah.
Well, you said it. We're
It's early.
early. Oh,
Yeah.
it's insane what's
Game
happening.
changer. I mean,
Yeah.
even for like gamers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Blog writers.
We've talked about that,
You
man.
know,
Blog writers have kind of already been getting hit, but yeah, now you take
Yeah,
these
yeah.
out there. Like, I mean, like if you think about Substack,
Mhm.
I think they
Substack
found really
popping.
good ways. Yeah, so you're right. But any creator, and I loved how you placed it in the fact that's like you can just leave and do whatever you want, because you really the whole point of this is that as long as you're riding that USD ship, you're going into the iceberg.
Mm,
So this is the way out, man. This is
Mhm.
the ability for anybody.
bro.
But
40% of money printed, and they're talking about 3.5 trillion more.
oh, and it's gonna happen. So
Man.
because of what Parker Lewis has said a bunch of times, quantitative easing stuff. Like this is just how they solve problems,
That's
and it's
crazy,
a bad way to solve problems.
So if you guys haven't noticed, we're on the Titanic and we've hit the iceberg.
I'm gonna argue some people are on the Titanic. yeah, but you're right. As a country, we're on the Titanic, and it's
And
Yeah.
I mean, just monetary policy and issues around the world. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The U.S. has printed 40% of all money.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, we weren't talking about trillions.
and seem to be perfectly fine with doing.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and now it's like everything's trillion this, trillion that. And like you can't count to a trillion because you would die first. That's
Yeah,
how big the number is.
You can't throw that number out there.
You
like
know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And like I saw a post earlier, like the stack that they're throwing around or whatever.
No, it's like 2,000 plus pages. I think it was
it's-
2,500.
And nobody's reading that. So it's just
Come on.
literally a waste of money. It's not even accurate money. It's a waste of money. But that's a completely different game changer there. I do want to keep, once again, I can't hate on anything Jack and team is doing.
No.
It's beautiful stuff, but I could play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate in me says, watch what Twitter is doing with what they have to report.
hmm
Watch what Strike is doing and what they have to report.
Yeah.
This is just common sense. This is game changing.
Yeah. Just figure it out.
There's a problem there. It is cool to get paid, unlimited, and the freedom of having taken the middleman out. But are you really taking the middleman out
If
if
you
the
become the
IRS
middleman.
is involved?
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
Be careful. It's fun. I hope more people get onboarded because of this, and more people will. But I haven't got it. I haven't got that feature added
Yeah.
to my Twitter. I think this is like a high profile thing.
Yep. That'll trigger a lot.
So it's gonna go through. Just to bounce into that, Western Union.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just getting wiped up the
They're-
floor with this situation. Hit 'em.
They're set to lose $400 million from international remittance.
Yeah.
And they're losing it, and it's going into the pockets of the people who deserve it.
Explain why that's even a problem.
Every week, every day, immigrants come here and they work their tails off. They work 2-3 jobs and they send money home, and they do it frequently. And Western Union takes a 5% cut, 3 to 5%. You know what I mean? And if we're sending to third world countries or to people who need those resources, like that adds up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's
with the innovation of the internet, like this is what you get. You know what I mean?
It's really a powerful thing. We talked about the last. I think it was the social clip that actually reminded me of it because we have these episodes so often. It's that whole like this makes so much sense, man.
Yeah.
Only evil people don't want this to win.
Yeah.
This is like the lives that you're willing to change. Now, if you're like a compadre, and I use that loosely, like if you're just somebody who loves when people are winning, and like this world would be such a beautiful world if even the most creative person in the darkest and the lowest of places can at least exchange value. And this is another example of one of those old dinosaurs dying fast. Gradually, then suddenly, Western Union, one of the greatest companies, whatever, arguably in their time frame. I don't know. I've never met a person who cared about it.
I mean, if you want international money, that's what it is. Western Union.
The monopoly of that.
You know what I mean?
The monopoly of that. And then overnight.
Taking your
Not
lunch.
overnight. This has been an accumulation of years of work. But suddenly, you're short 400. You have no way to beat this unless you join it.
If you're Western Union, what do you do? Immediately adopt Bitcoin?
Take the Strike API.
You buy the Strike API. You load up a bunch of cash onto a Lightning channel, and you say, you know what, we're going to reduce our fees. You have to be competitive, or you lose, bro.
I got the answer here. I got this article pulled up from Western Union.
Yeah.
Western Union is committed to enabling 300 million people to digital connect to a global economy through mobile wallets by 2025. This commitment is part of launching the 1 Billion Lives Challenge.
What?
So Western Union is going to have a digital wallet.
It's going to take 4 years.
They could just get the Strike API
Come
now.
on, fam.
They could just be going by like next month.
See, if I'm someone that's smart like you on the tech back end, I'm looking at Western Union's infrastructure and like, who do I talk to?
I don't want to talk to them. I know what you're saying.
I would just have a conversation. What if they offered you like, that's an expensive gig, bro.
I know you're saying in general, but
I'm just saying.
You know me. I'll sabotage myself before I give it up. Like I'm just like that. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's to a fault.
Someone's going into that company.
But if you're having that conversation, this is my argument. If you're having, why not just build your own Western Union?
You could, but you got to launch it and all that.
Yeah, but then now I got to turn that big old ship the other way.
Yeah.
And that's going to be mad hard.
Here's the deal. Either they're paying someone a salary of, $200,000 a year, or they're paying an agency or a freelancer.
Yeah.
$1 million.
I'll go with Strike and be like, but I know what you mean. It is a conversation to be had.
Yeah.
I think this is just the trend that all these fossil companies are going to have to get into.
Yeah, they have to. The pressure's on, man.
But ego is such a thing, and I've been reading a lot about ego lately. Ego is such a thing. It's like to think that you wouldn't even like be a part of this.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't even just come tomorrow and be like, yo, like you just said, we're gonna outsource this to Strike Team, API, whatever. Like
and they'll take the fee.
Western Union is gonna be brand new. Yeah, right. Like we're in this business, we're excited about it. We didn't know about it. We knew that this was a problem. Yeah. This is the solution. They can build a marketing campaign where they say, we knew about this problem.
We didn't know.
Well, we knew we couldn't solve it till now. Right? Like I can see this whole thing playing out.
Yeah.
Instead, they're gonna say in 4 years, which, as you and I know, Bitcoin time, that is fossil.
That's 40 years, fam. The way things are moving, that's insane.
That they would even come out with this message.
I mean, they have to roll that out in 2021, early 2022. Like
Strike API.
Like that can't come out in 2023. Like we're now accepting. Like that's way too late. They have to get like at least like minimal inputs and outputs.
Well, check this out.
Some basic.
What if by 2025 they're going to be accepting the U.S. digital dollar? Western Union now got it in their bag, but they got wallets before everybody else do.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Nasty. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the coin life, bro. In terms of USDC and
this is
CBDC, I'm good.
I'm telling you, like I said a little while ago, there's nobody that has good in their heart that would want this thing to fail.
Yeah.
Because it makes so much damn sense that I think even the people that doubt it, when they get offline, be like, this thing is the truth. Like, it just makes so much damn sense. And then the fact that you can go, and actually I wasn't trying to do this, but get transaction outset info, the fact that you and I and anybody can go validate the supply cap. And make sure that we know that this is legit.
Now, on that, how can we be sure that the supply cap can't be altered?
It would take consensus across the board. So I think it's one of those things. There's probably a better answer than this, but off the head, I think it's one of those things where we're too far ahead for that to happen.
Yeah.
Like there's way too much consensus across the board that
That says-
121
Yeah.
that it would be impossible to change that. Yeah, people would just leave.
And that's run through the nodes.
Huh?
And that's coordinated through the nodes.
So a whole consensus system, right? So we agree
Gotcha.
that this is happening, and back to the formula, 21 million is the reason that this is worth anything.
Yeah.
Well, two formula, the U.S. dollar crashing and the scarcity of the 21 million. So yeah, man, I just it will suck because the price will plummet immediately, and we'll all hightail it and be wrong in theory. But if the 21 million consensusly were to ever get flipped, I see everybody kicking the fuck out. I see everybody, because then it just turns it into a shitcoin if you think about it, right? Like then what would be the argument of it not being an Ethereum or something like that? Oh, because Orange is better than whatever their logo is? No, the 21 million is what makes it what it is. Without it, this is worthless. There could be a lot of different, proof of work, the difficulty adjustment. There's a lot of things that it requires, but without 21 million, you and I won't be on Twitter fucking around with all these other dudes and females. We're having fun out here, and we're having fun out here because we agree to one thing. Boy, if these things are going to run out. And if we don't have enough of them, then we may be in a worse situation than the people that have a lot of it. That's very important historically, not just in Bitcoin. That's important. I try to, lately when I'm talking to people about Bitcoin, it's like, well, forget that it's Bitcoin. Understand why it's important. Those are two different things. But yeah, now Western Union, one of the fossils going down. Just to jump off of that, we're about to get into shitcoinery right now, which we usually don't do here. But I like this whole segment of letting the listeners be able to hear this clip. So your boy, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez. I've never been a fan of the celebrities in any space, particularly in Bitcoin. I didn't care too much about Miami turning whatever. Now we kind of see where this is going, though. Now we kind of see where it's like, well, Florida doesn't want to just be the Bitcoin capital like Texas.
It wants to be digital capital.
It wants to be like the cryptocurrency capital of the world.
Yeah.
And this kind of brings me back to like when the Bitcoin conference was happening. And I saw a lot of people saying, yo, this is love. I'm seeing my Bitcoin family, but just as many people saying, damn, it's a lot of shitcoinery going on in this motherfucker. So this kind of brings me back to this whole, Florida not embracing this like Bitcoin capital of the world type thing and doing something different. So let's play this clip. This is the mayor. I don't know much about this besides that it sounds super foolish. Let's hear it out.
People are not going into a supermarket to buy sneakers with Bitcoin, right? So the point is that Bitcoin is a store of value right now, predominantly, right? And the question is whether Bitcoin will ever metamorphosize into a currency. In this case, because Miami Coin is 4.5 cents, it's converted into a currency than something that's worth $43,000 that is appreciating, that people are afraid to sort of let go, right? Because they want to hold it. So either one works for me, by the way. If Bitcoin does become a currency, I think that's wonderful for the world, because I think we get off the dependency of fiat, which I think is really what cryptocurrencies were created to do. What's beautiful about Miami Coin is we get a benefit, right? The city gets a huge benefit that is, enormous, and that could be paradigm shifting. People are not going into a...
What are your thoughts?
I wanted to hear more.
Yeah, they cut it off there. This is CoinDesk article. Go check it out on Twitter.
Here are my thoughts. At least, and I feel like he was alluding to this. There are benefits. So, like, if I created a state, a city, whatever, and everyone in that state is transacting from USD to the Miami coin, the Miami city gets, it's like they're controlling the vault with the funds. You know what I mean? So like if they earn interest on that, it grows. And then what can they do with the excess? You know what I mean? So in my mind, they're just taking USD out. And it doesn't sound like they're trying to like sell it. Like,
yeah.
Does it sound like they're going to be trading that? Like he's saying,
I don't know much about it.
Yeah,
besides,
it sounded like he said 4.5 cents.
What is it? Yeah, that's right.
So like that sounds like hard cap 4.5 cents. Like this is almost like a stable coin. You know what I mean? Not like a Dogecoin.
Okay, so my thing is
30 to 80.
We just talked all about the strike. Why is this not possible on Bitcoin though?
Yeah.
What's up, Miami? Why is this not possible on the Bitcoin?
Yeah, get everyone. They're doing it in Venezuela.
So why are you taking up such an initiative? I imagine the manpower that would take. As a matter of fact, I'm not really surprised at these state-led government agencies. They don't put much technology behind things. But you're going to get a whole, let's just be simple here in terms. You're going to get a whole blockchain team.
Yep.
You're going to get a bunch of developers. You're going to have this coin. And have the system around it. You're going to have to bring staff that understands it, that knows how to client service and stuff, that needs to do all this stuff.
Mad extra work.
Why?
Yeah.
How is that benefiting Florida? When right now, at the flip of a dime, let's just say a month to be nice, but at the flip of an instance of a decision, you can get. Let's not use the Strike API. You just get Lightning devs in, right? And you change that whole standard around.
Yeah.
And now Florida is the leading spot to being able to get your buddy that you were talking about earlier to have those QR codes all over Florida.
Mm-hmm.
A place with a lot of tourism, a place where these QR codes would be accessible. You don't need a Miami coin.
Yeah. Well, and that empowers the creator and the person, but his plan empowers
Ooh, himself.
Miami and himself.
This is.
I don't know. I got to hear more of that clip to see what
yes.
he's going to allude to.
I'm with you on that.
yeah,
but it's just funny how the narrative changes.
Yeah.
It's funny a lot of people coming in, right? And then I see this article, and then I see a Cynthia Loomis article, right, where she's like just going ham. And
I appreciate her. For every time I see her, like she's
very,
like
very few of her around for
need
sure
more of her.
that understand this problem.
Yeah.
Right. But you see these two standards here, and it's just like, my man, why would you sit there and talk about a Miami coin? That's not even necessary. It's not solving anything. And if you go down that whole, incentive scheme of like, now I want to go to Miami and display my work, display my art because I know I could probably get paid there.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about here when it comes what's best for Miami?
Yeah.
I'm a regular pleb and I know what's better for Miami.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of legalities.
Yeah,
There's a lot of benefit. I imagine there's a lot of back pockets here. I imagine there's a lot of people getting greased here. And this, we talked about it before, this fiat standard is just so addicting and so egotistical that they're not willing to let go. They're going to try all these things. I'm not going to Miami for shit. Like, I'm not buying your Miami coin. I'm not trading it. I'm going to go there with either fiat so I could throw away because that's all fiat can do, or I want to go there to present my work and get earned in the best currency, the hardest money of all time. What's up, Florida?
Yeah.
You might want to look at what Texas is doing. Not specifically Austin, just Texas as a whole.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk of a lot of people in the Bitcoin space going to Miami for a while. I mean, Pomp was on that.
I love it, man. Time tells who people are, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was with you, and I was with most of the people around that February hike, spike, whatever. These were the people that were easy to latch on. They had information, they had products, they had things that were coming out. They were in your face all the time. I believe Pomp does a podcast every day, doesn't he? Like, that's insane on a podcaster level. That's insane. So I see all this stuff, but that time eventually just starts to peel that like an onion.
Yeah.
And you just start seeing that these individuals just know how to grease their own pockets. And is that a good thing in life? I don't know. I'm not the lead chief of virtue. I just can't sleep at night when I know people are struggling and it's because of me or around me, or I would even feel like crap if somebody gave me their last $50 that they worked their 9 to 5 for to give me some bullshit that I probably spend in 10 hours to put together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem that I have with not just these gentlemen, but with that fiat standard mindset as it is. They're just capitalizing on things they learned and where they got to where they got.
Yeah.
But time tells, like you said, a little earlier this year, the tone was different.
Yeah.
And then that's why I think I like that we can share these episodes and not have to worry about sponsors and not have to worry about weird things because, sort of like Lightning by nature, we're dependent on y'all. We're dependent on support. We're dependent on word of mouth. And we can play, say, and pretty much do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful, man.
You own yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And I don't think there's many podcasters, and this sounds like we're blowing smoke up our ass. I don't think there's many podcasts that are still doing that.
Yeah.
I think they sold out. I've tried to stomach a McCormick episode. He recently had, I think I said this last week, but he had our boy Jan Pritzker from Swan
Gotcha.
Bitcoin, had him on, and I tried to stomach the episode, but it's different now.
Yeah.
Like, I just want the knowledge right away.
Is it like corporate radio? Is that what it feels like?
For them, I'm sure they make a killing off of ads. I sound like the biggest grouch, and I know that, but I don't care. I'm willing to die on that if I have to. I just see it different. I just don't think that we should be wasting your time to try to sell you stuff when there's value in the information alone.
Facts.
That's my big consensus thing.
Yeah,
like,
we're not here to influence people on,
we just like talking about the shit.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna get paid back just by you being able to change your life and joining us in the citadel,
if people learn Bitcoin through this, like
we win.
We win.
We win.
You know what I mean?
This is the only time in life we would able to talk about this. So I'm just about that. I don't know when the last time you've been able to watch listen to a podcast. Have you checked out a few?
I haven't.
And I don't know. I don't think the quality's getting. I don't think the content is getting worse because the guests are still dope. I kind of just think that the podcast, they're trying to go through them too fast, right? Like, they're not really combing them out. They're trying to pump them out fast. and they're more focused on having a celebrity on than they are about having an informationalist
Content,
on.
right.
And that may be a thing before Bitcoin, but I'm talking specifically where we're at,
Yeah.
the ball game we're playing. And there's a lot of guys out here that they have big followings, but that doesn't mean anything because you can buy it. I don't know why we need to rely on old fiat tactics when we could rely on listeners every day to give us 2, 3 cents, 4 cents if they do. And with Twitter and all that stuff, but I'm a little bit worried about that
Yeah.
KYC stuff, dude. I really think it's a problem.
Yeah, they need to figure out that output and make it so it's not so. You know?
I like your analogy earlier though of saying it's very early on that. Right?
I feel it's early.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could change.
If it doesn't change in a year, 2 years, that's an issue.
yeah,
know what
but
I mean?
I think Jack is so far ahead too, where he could like play around.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's anybody boxing close. Like
Nah.
I don't think there's like a chance. Like
Yeah.
like I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of companies doing really cool stuff, but when it comes to like atomic bomb messaging,
Bitcoin Beach
change the world.
turns into an actual thing for a whole country, inspires the world, and then now let's do this through Twitter.
Yeah.
Those are big, man. Those are big.
Those are life changing experience. Yeah, he's at the
You know?
forefront of everything. He's the first
Like,
on Twitter.
What's
right?
second to that?
I don't think that. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say
The people who created Lightning. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what?
block size wars.
Block
like,
size wars.
yeah, Segwit. There's a lot of key instances, but yeah, Jack coming out and orange pilling a country.
Mm.
That's huge for
Yo,
us Bitcoiners.
it's so dope. Someone was in El Salvador
Yeah.
and they posted a picture. I forget his name, but he was like, "Yeah, I got maybe it was pupusas or he got something or
Yeah.
coffee or something." He's like, "I tipped my waitress here. Here's her Strike username,"
Yeah.
and everyone just kind of like donated. Again, it's KYC. You know what I mean? That should just be Lightning wallet to wallet, non-custodial. But hopefully we get there.
How do I get
know?
stock? How do I get stock in pupusas?
Man, you
Pupusas are popping now, even with the white folks.
Yeah, you buy a spot and you run it up.
That's fun.
Um,
Yeah, I saw something cool. I don't know much about it, but I saw something cool where it's like somebody's already working on like gift certificates for your company through Lightning.
mm,
Like being able to set up a campaign where like somebody opts into like a video of yours or something like that. You could give them a coupon for 50%.
I like that. Someone tweeted,
pretty cool.
"Show me your best memes" or something, and like I'll sat you. And they responded to my meme with like a bot, and the bot, when I clicked it, it was like automatically pays out sats or something
On Twitter?
on Twitter.
I've never seen that.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up and I'll send it to you.
I've seen it on Reddit. I've gotten a few on Reddit.
I never inquired. I don't think it's spam because it looks like a real person. But I think the bot probably has access to some wallet, and if you press the button or something, it triggers to send to you. Something.
Yeah, you can see that on Telegram.
Yeah.
You can see that on Reddit, but I've never seen it on Twitter. That's
It
interesting.
was just in a tweet response.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still
Yeah.
think it's very early about getting paid online. I think people are hyped about getting paid online, but I don't
Yeah.
think people know enough about
Yeah,
getting paid
yeah.
online.
Facts.
There's going to be a lot of sacrifices to figure out if this is worth it or not. And, when they talk about, like you said, trillions, and when they talk about raising the ceiling, and when they talk about these things, I don't, and the cap on $600 for expenses, I don't think they're just going to let it slide if you're getting paid on Twitter.
Facts.
So, and if you want to go with the whole, like, banning the whole president out of Twitter stuff, then, yeah, they could definitely shut your wallet down whenever the hell they want, in my opinion. I don't think that's hard at all.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
Like
but,
it's not like it's like, I don't know, like an anonymous portal or something. It's like
Yeah.
it seems to be somewhat in their custody. So,
but it's
or no, it's just on their platform.
it's
And
not on
if-
their custody because it's going straight to strike.
Yeah.
But
It's on their platform.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that, like, if like the Fed would go to Twitter headquarters and say, "Well, we want transaction IDs,"
Yeah.
I would like to think that they have the cough of transaction IDs to go to strike. Now, if they get the final information at strike,
Mhm.
I don't know enough about that to even like speculate on that. But yeah, they can't just say, "Twitter, let me know how much whatever." But I think they can find out two things. They can find out metadata on how much has been sent to your profile. And I think they can figure out the transactions that are happening from Twitter to Strike in the background,
Mm.
whether it's an ID.
Mm.
But this is where Taproot comes in. And the fact that it's a Lightning connection may skew that up for the feds,
Mm.
meaning that it's not just as easy as it went from Twitter to Strike. It's where did this channel open? This is a Lightning channel. This isn't. It's not on the chain as it would be if Twitter were sending Strike on chain money.
Mm.
So that's very interesting. Taproot was going to make that even messier for you to
'Cause
be able to track. So,
Couldn't you just output to like a Samurai wallet with Wasabi?
well, that's what I mean. It's like, what, from Strike?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Strike is going to have a record of you sending over to, right? They got to have that transaction. I don't know anything about what they call for, but I
Yeah.
in my mind, I like to think
Yeah.
that when the Fed comes looking, they can get whatever the fuck they want.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
all right, how do you rinse it, bro? Like you got it on Twitter. Now you're sending it to like a Whirlpool
Yeah.
to share those transactions to go from there to another wallet to another wallet. Like how do you make that disappear?
I don't know nothing about nothing, but I'm assuming if you're a company here in this market, you're not getting away with transactions hidden.
Yeah.
So as much as we love Jack and as much as we love Strike,
Yeah.
I still think that they're just as weak as any other company that has to go through the rules and has to go through regulation.
Yeah.
But once again, is Taproot going to make that difficult? Meaning that if Strike were to get approached and they say, well, we want to know, from the last 30 days of transactions, can, Strike basically say, here you go. But it's so obscured that it's like you said, Whirlpool, the mixed up with, I'm going to say taprooted. That's not a word.
Mhm.
A taprooted in a sense that makes it so that it gives them a much difficult time figuring out
Mhm.
that. I don't know. We're very early on. This is
Yeah.
all speculation. I'm a little bit torn with the API Strike stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like, I'm cool with it. I love that it's open source. I think if you're working on Lightning already, you would probably be like, he's not doing any special sauce. But he is the forefront. He is the pioneer of it. And that whole flipping cash to Strike Rails thing, he built that whole thing, that whole platform. So shout out to him. Shout out to him taking down Western Union, and he did it to Coinbase. He did it to Western Union, bringing out these challenges
Mm.
because it's easy for you and I to sit here and say blah 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 about this company, but for somebody to come out and say, hey, you've been in business for 20 odd something years. I've only been in business for 5. What you got?
Here's my move. I'm gonna sell Bitcoin at minimal fee.
Yeah, and understand it, right? Because when you hear Jack talk, he seems to understand it at a business level too, right?
Nice.
So he's not like a young kid who's just sitting there, looking at the ceiling and daydreaming. This kid is
Mhm.
very focused on business. He's very focused on monetary policy, and he understands Bitcoin probably better than most. But you see that onion does not unpeel like other onions in time. Bitcoin has a time to expose people.
Yeah.
But
Let's talk about Jack taking on the El Salvador project. When he explains that, he talks about like this is the first open monetary network system that allows peer-to-peer or peer-to-commerce to transact, and the transaction is final, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to go like my dad just opened a restaurant, right? So I'm helping him, look at the reports and stuff. And like, you have to settle that every night. Like, there's no settling every night so it hits your bank in the morning. You're settling instantly.
yeah,
So if you need to instantly buy more supplies, whatever inventory, you need cash immediately, it's there.
yeah,
You obviously convert Bitcoin to USD, but like it's in your possession. You're not waiting for a third party's processing time of, 1 to 2 days.
it changes life.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Changes protocols. It changes
and,
standards.
and that's how it should be. Like, why
Yeah.
am I waiting for my money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah. So
game
ultimately,
changer.
ultimately the question is who's the crazy one?
yeah.
I've been called directly crazy, but the vibe I get when I speak about Bitcoin is this guy's crazy about it.
Yeah. I mean, imagine someone, they laughed at the dudes who were saying, oh yeah, one day you're going to be able to book a full vacation through the internet. One day you're going to be able to book a wedding through the internet.
Yeah.
One day you're going to be able to get a Harvard college degree on the internet.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. They
It
look
shows
those
how
guys
fickle
like,
those things were before.
you know
but
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, game changer when you
So.
change the rules. There's always going to be people that are going to arm wrestle those rules. We understand that as a culture. Let's just see where this thing goes, man. But
Yeah, man.
if you're against this, you may either need to do more work into it, or you may just be a piece of shit. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I still need the argument from somebody who doesn't believe in it that gives me a logical argument why this is not good for humanity. I don't think that's ever happened.
So I met with a financial advisor friend, works for a big bank,
Be careful what you're about to say, sir.
and his I think his main beef was just 21 million consensus. You know what I mean?
Does he fall into the got to do more work category? He's not an idiot. It sounds like a smart guy.
yeah.
Yeah. But how smart dumb are you, right? Like
Yeah.
how connected are you to the U.S. dollar, and how disconnected are you from the concern of the world,
Yeah.
or the struggle?
Yeah.
And this is specific for individuals. How much do you care about humanity?
Yeah.
Some people don't give a shit, and
Yeah.
that's to each your own.
A lot of people, they like, A, they don't understand Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They're still thinking about it from an investment perspective. And then B, like they don't even understand how it can change humanity. You know what I mean? How it can change people's lives.
Yeah. Pay attention.
So,
Read some headlines. I mean,
yeah, there's some good articles. Gladstein's wrote a couple now.
Well, there's reads for every level. So
Yeah.
if he's like the higher end financial types, there's the Nick Bhatia of the world, right?
Yeah,
Like
facts.
so like there's a connection everywhere, but that's like you need to do more your work to understand why consensus will stay across the board, right? You need to first understand consensus. You first need to understand scarcity, right? And then you need to understand why those two things together thrive innovation, right? Thrive push forward, right? And then when you mix that with the problems that we've been discussing, which is people have been stolen from for years, especially in smaller countries, right? Humanity, right? When we go back and we hear Jan's story about his family coming over and not being able to take their funds with them, when you hear these things, you have to immediately move away from everything you've learned about the U.S. dollar, right? And then it could work to your favor, meaning that when you understand the U.S. dollar, you could basically say, you see the poison in it. You're like, damn, like, I'm kind of working in the industry. That's sort of like in the pharmaceutical industry. I don't know how people work in the pharmaceutical industry. I really don't. Like, I know you got to pay your bills. I
It's
get
for the
that.
money, bro.
But you can't be illogical, meaning that when you're outside of pharmaceutical work, you can't be pushing pharmaceuticals on people knowing what we know about pharmaceuticals. That's how I feel about tax advisors. That's how I feel about anybody in the fiat standard job, right? It's like you can't really pick at Bitcoin unless after your day job, you're going and exploring Bitcoin. Right?
Yeah.
Like, don't talk to me about the dollar outside of your job. You're full of shit. I know what I know. You're not giving me any good logical reasons. And even if I'm full of shit, history tells us who's correct. It happens. It just happened. I don't know what to tell you. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out. Right? So that's what I would tell that. But I think he falls in the category of like, you need to do more work.
Yeah.
Outside of your day job, of fiat stuff, which I'm sure you're making a killing at. Go and do metaphorically get on your knees, right? This is, I'm not saying that's an insult. I'm saying like, humble yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Understand that you're stupid. Understand that you're naive. Understand that you don't understand the problems of the world. And understand that there's this whole ecosystem of people, of technology, of property rights inducing individuals that are willing to change the world, that are fighting a fight that you're naively just ignoring. Just to live comfortably in the life that you've built for yourself in that field. I respect everybody for wanting to give their family food on the table. I don't respect people that see harm being done to fellow human beings and just look the other way. That's where I stand. If you fight against Bitcoin, you fight against humanity, you fight against property rights. And as a human being, I think those are the most important things to us. So I'm going to try to ride this one out to the end. No animosity, just being where I'm at. Call me crazy, but it's changing lives already.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you're educated on it and you see like, the ins and outs, like you can't deny that it's changing lives.
So it's a proof of work bin. Most people fall in that bin. Yeah, like it's hard. It's hard, and you have to get out of your comfy life because it's one of those things where it's like your standard of living does not apply over here. You need to be selfless. Max Kaiser, right? Poison, all this good stuff. You need to be selfless, or they're gonna, Bitcoiners or the community is gonna expose you, or you're just gonna get wrecked. Right? Because you're going to have venomous decision making, and eventually you're going to make the wrong move, and you're going to get wrecked. And then you're going to hate Bitcoin. You're going to shit talk Bitcoin. We all find out at the end of this journey if we were right or wrong. But I really don't think that's what Bitcoin is intended to prove to me in my life. Whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's a transformation my life has received because of Bitcoin that has already paid itself off. You see what I'm saying? So I never got that from the U.S. dollar. Not just your buddy there, but people that are really stuck into the fiat standard way of things, those are the people that are going to have a hard time. The transition to whatever comes next, which we know is going to come next, he can't deny it. I'm sure he's looked at numbers. Whatever the transition is going to be really hard for you if you didn't consensively choose with the community the most important thing in life. And that's scarcity, and that's being able to conserve and store our time and energy. You gave that up because you naively did not want to go and explore across the line. I feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel sorry. That's where have fun staying poor originates. And it's not a diss. It's just the way of life. Either way, brother. You got anything else for them?
No, man, that's good.
Episode 38?
Yes, sir. Wrap.
Guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, please let us know how you like the experience. It's a beautiful, it's well-crafted experience. Please let us know. Hit the red button. Hit the bell. That's how you know whenever we post any new episodes. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platforms, the same thing. Leave a comment. Floats us up. Subscribe. just interact with us. It's the best way to get us to float to the top. If you have a node and you're streaming sats, Podcast 2.0, we're supported on all those platforms. Go check it on your favorite apps. As always, we appreciate y'all. That wraps up episode 38. Later, y'all.
Peace, bro.
Later, man.